Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to learn average and average if. Average simply calculates the mean of a group of numbers. Average if is more advanced. It calculates the mean, but only for values that meet a specific condition. Part 1, average. Let's start with a simple example. We have employee scores in column D. If I want the average score of all employees, I'll use the average function. The syntax is equal average, open bracket, range of values, close bracket. This formula will add up all the scores and divide them by the number of employees. So the result is the overall average score, part 2, average if. In our example, the range is column B, department. The criteria is sales. The average range is column D, scores. Let's type the formula equals average if. Select the whole range that contains sales. Write sales between quotes, select the score range and close the bracket. This formula will calculate the average score of employees in the sales department only. So remember, average gives you the mean for all values. Average if gives you the mean only for values that meet a condition. These functions are very useful in HR data, student marks, or any case where you need averages with rules. In this lesson, we are going to explore counting functions in Excel. We'll cover 4 powerful tools. These are essential when analyzing data because they let you quickly count numbers, text, or even apply specific conditions. Let's get started step by step. Part 1, count function. On the screen, you can see a small table with items A to F and their values. Some are numbers, some say NA, and one of them is 0. Count is used to count only numeric cells. Text, blanks, or errors will be ignored. Now let's write the formula together in cell G6. Type equals, count, open bracket, select the range, and the result is 4. Why 4? Because only the numbers 10, 0, 15, and 7 are being counted. Notice that text values like n/a are ignored. Part 2, count A function. Sometimes you also want to count cells that contain text or non-empty values. That's when we use count A. Let's try it. Equals count A. Select the range. Close bracket. The result is 6. Because count A counts anything that is not empty. Numbers, text, and even errors. So remember, count for numbers only. Count A for numbers plus text. Basically all non-empty cells. Now let's move on to count if. This function counts the number of cells that meet one specific condition. Look at the second table. We have order and their status, shipped, pending, or cancelled. Suppose we want to know how many orders are pending. So in cell F5 type equals, select the range, then wire pending between quotation. This tells count if function, count only pending orders. Result is 2. That's because there are exactly 2 pending orders. Part 4, count ifs function. Let's check countifs, which allows for multiple conditions. Here we have a list of employees with their department and score. Now, let's say we want to know how many people are in sales department and also have a score greater than or equal to 70. Let's try it. Equals, countifs, select the department column and write sales between quotation to tell the function look for the sales department. Then greater than or equal to 70 between quotation to look for persons in sales department who has score 70 or higher. The result is 2 because Amir and Dana are in sales and their scores are above 70. Let's recap what we learned. Count counts numbers only. Count A counts anything that is not empty. Count if counts based on one condition. Count ifs counts based on multiple conditions. These are extremely useful for analyzing datasets quickly. Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're unlocking the magic of one of Excel's most famous functions of VLOOKUP. Specifically, we're going to learn how to find an exact match for something. Think of it like a digital detective that can find a specific person's name in a massive phone book and then tell you their exact phone number. The V actually stands for vertical because it looks down the vertical columns of your data. To use our detective, we need to give it 4 pieces of information. The formula always looks like this: lookup, parenthesis, and then 4 arguments. Who are we looking for? The lookup value. Where should we look the table array once you find it? What piece of information should we bring back? The column index number. And finally, are we looking for someone who looks roughly like this or their exact twin? The range lookup for an exact or approximate match. Let's build our formula together. We'll create a little search area here to the right of our table. Let's start with a simple common task. Look at our main sales data at the top of the screen. Let's say our boss asks, what were the sales for product B2? We can see it's 800, but let's make Excel find it for us automatically. We're going to write a formula that just finds the sales value first. We need to give our detective the clue. Type the product we're looking for, B2. Now click in the cell where you want the sales result to appear. Let's use this cell where our detective will tell us the answer. It's time to call our detective. Type an equal sign, then VLOOKUP and an open parenthesis. Now VLOOKUP needs 4 pieces of information to do its job first. What is the clue? What are we looking for? We are looking for the product code in cell I6. So click on cell I6, type of comma. Our formula now looks like this: equal VLOOKUP open bracket I6, comma second. Where is the list? Where should the detective search? This is our main table, our phone book. We need to select the entire range of data from the product column all the way to the sales column. So let's select cells from B6 all the way down to F11. Very important. Next step, we need to lock this range in place. Press the F4 key on your keyboard. See the dollar signs appear. It now says this is called an absolute reference. It tells Excel no matter what, always look in this exact table. Third, what piece of information do we want? Our selected table has 5 columns. We need to tell VLOOKUP which column has the answer we want. Let's count them starting from the first column we selected. Column 1 is product. Column 2 is category. Column 3 is region. Column 4 is month. Column 5 is sales. We want the sales number, so that's column number 5. Type the number 5, then type another comma. Do we want an approximate match or an exact match? We need the sales for product B2, not something similar to B2. We need its exact twin for an exact match. We use false, or you can simply type the number 0. They mean the same thing. Let's type false and close the parenthesis. Our formula now is equal VLOOKUP, I6 as lookup value, the range from I6 to F11 as a table array and locking the range with dollar signs. And 5 is the column number of the result. We want false as we want the exact match, which is B2. Press enter and there it is. The detective found product B2 and returned the exact sales figure 800. Perfect. Now let's test it. What if we want to find the sales for product C1? Let's type C1 to replace B2. And oh no, it worked. It found 500. Now, let's see the real power of the lookup. Look at the smaller table we've set up here at the bottom. This time, we don't just want one piece of information. We want to find everything about a product. We want to automatically fill in its category, its region, its month, and its sales all at once. We've already typed the product code in this cell. Our goal is to build formulas in the below cells to pull all the data from the big table. We already know how to get the sales. Let's get the other information. Click in cell J13. This is where we want the category for product A1 to appear. Let's write the formula. Type lookup. First clue who we are looking for the product in cell J12. So click on J12, type a comma. Second clue where this is the same big phone book. We'll use the same absolute reference from B6 to F11 and locking it with dollar signs by pressing F4. We want the category in our selected table. Category is column number 2. Type 2, type of comma. Fourth clue, exact match, always false type, false, and press enter. Formula equals lookup. J12 table range with dollar signs. 2. False close. It works for product A1. The category is electronics. Now here's the powerful part. We can drag this formula to get the other information. Click on cell J13. Grab the little square in the bottom right corner, the fill handle. Drag it to cell J16. It gives n/a in all rows. Let's see what we did wrong. Now let's look carefully at our setup. Here's our lookup array. Notice what happens when we try the formula, when we check the first row. Excel looks at J12. That correctly gives us electronics, but here's the problem. When we drag the formula down, Excel moves the reference 2. So instead of still looking at J12 for the product, the second row is now looking at J13, and the third row is looking at J14, and so on. In other words, the row reference keeps sliding down with us. How do we fix this? We need to lock the row, click inside the formula, and go to the part that points to J12. Press F4 twice. F4 is to lock row number so it stays on row 12. No matter how far we drag the formula, press enter, drag down, and let's see. The error is gone, but now you'll notice another issue. It shows electronics in every row. Why is that? It's because the column index in the formula hasn't changed. Right now, all formulas are using column number 2, so Excel is always returning the category column. To fix this, we need to change the column index for each result. Region is column 3. See, now the result is north. Let's do the same for all month is column 4, sales is column 5. Now everything works correctly. So the two big lessons here are lock references when you don't want Excel to move them as you drag. Always check the column index. It decides what piece of information VLOOKUP brings back. Now type a new product code and watch how the entire row instantly updates with all the correct information. This is the true power of VLOOKUP. You can build a dynamic report that changes based on a single input. So to recap, VLOOKUP finds data vertically, use false for an exact match. Lock your table and lookup value with F4. Change the column index number to get different data. Use $sign to lock your lookup column when copying sideways. You are now expert. Go and save yourself hours of time. Alright, we've built an amazing tool. But I have a question. What happens if we type a product code that doesn't exist? Let's try it. In cell J12, let's type X1 and press enter. Yikes. We get the n/a error not available, and it breaks our whole beautiful report. This is a problem. We can't have people typing things in manually. They might make a typo. Use lowercase letters or try to find a product that's not there. It makes our tool look broken. So how do we fix it? We make it impossible to type the wrong thing. We give our users a drop-down list to choose from. Let's do it right now. First, we need a list of all the valid choices. We already have one. It's the list of products in our main table. In column B, let's use that. Click on the cell where you want the drop-down to be. That's our input, cell J12. Now go to the Data tab on the Excel ribbon. Look for the group called Data Tools. Click on the button that says Data Validation. A new window will pop up in the Settings tab under Allow. Click the little arrow and choose List. Now the source box appears. This is where we tell Excel what to put in the drop-down. Click the little range selector icon at the end of the box. Now simply go and select all the product codes in our main table. Highlight cells B6 down to B11. Press enter. Click OK. Look at that. A little arrow appeared next to cell J12. Click on it. Wow, a list of all our products drops down. Now just click on one. Let's choose C1 and just like magic, the entire report updates instantly with no errors. Try another one from the list. B2. Perfect. We have just made our tool user-proof and professional. No more typos, no more errors, just clean, reliable data. This is the final crucial step in building a great VLOOKUP dashboard, controlling the input with data validation. So to build a powerful tool, remember these 3 steps. Build your lookup formulas, absolute references to lock your table data validation, to create a drop-down list and prevent errors. You are not just using formulas anymore, you are building applications. Great job! Now you are VLOOKUP expert. Your detective can find anything by looking down the vertical rows of a list. But what if your data is organized differently? What if it's laid out horizontally, like a timeline going across the screen? Meet VLOOKUP's cousin, or HLOOKUP. The H stands for horizontal. This detective looks across the columns of your data. Look at our new table. It's the same sales data, but it's been flipped on its side. Instead of products going down a column, the product codes are now in the first row, going across from column C to column H. And below each product we have their details, category, region, month, and sales. Our mission is the same. Find the sales for product B2, but this time we'll use HLOOKUP. First, let's give our detective the clue. I'll type B2 in a cell. Let's use cell K6. Now click where you want the result. Let's use cell L6. Time to call our new detective type equals HLOOKUP, just like its cousin VLOOKUP needs 4 pieces of information. First, the clue. What are we looking for? We are looking for the product code in cell K6, so click on K6. Where's the horizontal phone book? This is our entire horizontal table. We need to select it. Click on the cell that has the first product, C5, that's a 1. Now drag to select all the way across to the last product, H5. Wait, no, we must select all the rows that contain the data we might want to retrieve. We need to include the lookup row, row 5, and all the data rows below it, row 6, 7, 8, and 9. So highlight from C5 all the way down to H9. Lock it, press F4. What row has the information we want? This is the big difference from VLOOKUP. We are not counting columns from the left, we are counting rows from the top. Our selected table has multiple rows. We need to tell HLOOKUP which row to get the answer from. Let's count them starting from the first row we selected. Row 1 is our lookup row, the product codes. Row 2 is category. Row 3 is region. Row 4 is month row. 5 is sales. We want the category. That's row number 2. Type 2, then type a comma fourth, the command exact match. Always we need the exact product B2, so we use false type, false, and close the parenthesis. Press enter. It returns furniture perfect for product B2. If we drag the formula to the right into region, month, and sales columns, it won't work correctly yet because the row index stays fixed at 2. We need to change the row index depending on what we want. Category equals 2, region equals 3, month equals 4, sales equals 5. Notice I locked the table C5 to H9 so it doesn't shift when dragging. I also locked column K with K6 so only the row number changes when we drag down. Now in row 7 we type another product code in K7B1. Drag the formulas from row 6 down to row 7. Boom. All details are fetched automatically. Imagine you are looking for book titles on a library shelf. Products in the first row. You find the book code on the shelf, then bend down to check its category, then a bit lower to see its region, month, and sales. That's exactly how HLOOKUP behaves. First row is the shelf, then it goes down rows to bring back details. You've just learned a professional Excel technique. By combining HLOOKUP with mixed references and absolute references, you can build dynamic reports that you can fill down and across. You're not just using formulas, you're architecting solutions. Great job! We've already learned how to use HLOOKUP to find product details like category, region, month, and sales. Now let's make it more user-friendly and error-proof. Instead of typing product codes in cell K6, let's create a drop-down like we did with VLOOKUP. Select K6 and K7, go to the Data tab. Go to Choose Data Validation under Allow. Select List for the source. Highlight the product codes in the first row of our table. Press OK. Now in cell K6, you'll see a small arrow. Students can pick a product from the drop-down, like A1, B2, or C2 instead of typing it. You can also add if and they to handle missing products. Right now, if we pick something not in the table like Z9, we get an error that's not nice for users. So let's wrap our VLOOKUP with if NA. We will add if NA before VLOOKUP. In the last, we will write comma, then any quote that you want to show if the product we are looking for is not exist in our database. If the product exists, VLOOKUP will return the result. Normally, if it doesn't exist, instead of errors shown, Excel will show not found. Apply to other columns. Repeat the same logic for region, month, and sales. Then, drag and test lock the ranges with $, so nothing shifts. Drag the formulas to the right now. Test by typing X1 in product. You see now, not found. So you have two ways. If NA makes your formulas robust, so users never see confusing errors. Drop-down lists make data entry cleaner and mistake-free. Together, this creates a much more professional dashboard feel. We've mastered VLOOKUP. It's a great detective, but it has a major weakness. It can only look to the right to find information. Let's test it. Look at our main table. What if I want to find out which product had sales of exactly 800? If I tried to use VLOOKUP, it would fail immediately. Why? Because VLOOKUP can only look for a value in the first column of a table and return something to the right. The sales column is on the right, and we want to return the product name on the left. VLOOKUP is stuck. It can't look left, so we need a new, more powerful tool. We're going to break the job down into two smaller, smarter jobs. Meet the ultimate dream team, Index and Match. Let's meet them one at a time. First, let's meet Match. Think of Match as your finder. Its only job is to tell you the position of an item in a list. Click on an empty cell. Let's learn Match type equals match. Match needs three things. What do you want to find? Let's find the sales value 800. So type 800 or click on a cell that has 800. Where do you want to look? Let's look in the sales column. Highlight sales. How do you want to match? For an exact match, like always, we use 0. Close the parenthesis and press enter. The formula is equals match. Open parenthesis 800 F6 F11 0. Close parenthesis. What did it return? It returned the number 4. What does that mean? It means the number 800 is found in the 4th position of the list you gave it. It's the 4th item in the sales column. Doesn't give you the value, it just gives you the address. It's in spot number 4. Now let's meet Index. Think of Index as your retriever. Its job is to go to a specific position in a list and get the value for you. Click on another empty cell. Let's learn index type equals index. Index needs two things. Which list do you want to get the value from? Let's say we want to get a product name from the product column. Highlight sales B6 down to B11. What row number in that list do you want? Let's say we want the 4th one. Type 4. Close the parenthesis and press enter. What did it return? It returned B2. The retriever went to the 4th row of the product list and brought back the value B2. Now here's the magic. What if we combine them? What if we have the finder match? Tell the retriever index where to look. We will replace that 4 in the index formula with our match formula. Let's solve our original problem. Find the product that had sales of 800. Click in a cell to write the combined formula type equals index first. Tell index the list to retrieve from. We want the answer to be a product, so highlight the product column B6 to B11, type A, comma. Now instead of a number, we need the match function to find the row type, match. Tell match what to find. We're looking for the sales value 800, type 800 or click on a cell with 800. Type a comma. Tell match where to look. We need to find 800 in the sales column. Highlight F6 to F11. Type a comma. Tell match to find an exact match. Type 0 and close 2 parentheses. Let's read this formula from the inside out. Match 800 F6 to F11 goes and finds the position of 800 in the sales column. It finds it in row 4, index B6 to B11, goes to the product column, gets the value from row 4 and brings it back. We just made VLOOKUP look left. This is the power of index and match. You can use this function to find anything anywhere in any direction. They are the true ultimate lookup tool. Well done. You've just leveled up your Excel skills massively. Let's warm up with a really fun and useful function. Imagine you're at a fancy hotel and the concierge asks you to pick a room. Room 1, room 2, or room 3. You choose a number and they give you the key to that specific room. Excel has its own concierge called Choose. Its job is simple. You give it a number and it gives you the value from that position on your list. Let's try it out. Click on an empty cell, type equals choose. The choose function needs two things: a number that represents your choice and a list of options to choose from. Let's say it's your lunch break. What should you eat? Let's make a list. Option 1, pizza. Option 2, salad. Option 3, sandwich. So in the formula after the parenthesis, type a number. Let's choose option 2, type 2, then a comma. Now type your options in quotation marks separated by commas: pizza, salad, sandwich. Close the parenthesis and press enter. What did it return? Salad. Perfect. You chose number 2 and choose gave you the second item on the list. Now let's make it dynamic. The real power is when the number isn't typed by you but calculated by Excel. Let's say we have a little lottery in cell H6. I'll type a number between 1 and 3. Let's type 3. Now in another cell, let's write a choose formula that uses that cell type. Equals choose. Select the cell that contains your choice and write your options: pizza, salad, sandwich. Press enter. It returns sandwich because H6 has the number 3. Now change the number in cell H6 to 1. Boom, it automatically changes to pizza. Now let's level up. Look at the sales data table. We have products P1, P2, P3, and their sales in 3 regions: North, South, and East. And look, we have another code. This one maps numbers to region names. 1 equals North, 2 equals South, 3 equals East. This training is where it gets really cool. It says use sum with choose to sum South sales. This looks complex, but let's break it down. We'll build it step by step. The goal is to sum all sales for the South region. Look at the table. South sales are in column D. We could just write equals sum open parenthesis and select the range, and it gives you the sum of sales. But the power of choose is that we can make this dynamic. What if we want to quickly switch between sum of North, South, or East? The choose function will let us choose which region to sum based on a number we type. First, let's pretend we want to select just the South data. Click on an empty cell. Let's practice. Type equals choose. First, the number we want. The code says South is number 2, so type 2. Now the list of options. But our options aren't words anymore. They are ranges. Option 1, the North data range. Option 2, the South data range. Option 3, the East data range. So type those ranges and close the parenthesis. Don't press enter yet. Look at what this formula is saying. Hey, choose. I want the second option from this list of ranges. But if we press enter, it will just show the value from that range. We can't see the magic yet. This is where the sum function comes in. We wrap the choose function inside a sum. So let's edit the formula. Press F2 to edit. Now type sum and an open parenthesis at the very beginning and a closing parenthesis at the very end. Now press enter. What is the result? It should be the sum of the south column. 200 plus 250 plus 300 equals 750. We have just built a dynamic region summarizer. If we change the first argument from 2 to 1, it would sum the north column instead. If we change it to 3, it sums the east column. This is how you move from using choose for simple lists to use it to control entire blocks of data in your analysis. It's a small function with a lot of power. We've seen VLOOKUP and index and match in action. Let's talk about why we ultimately have a better tool, XLOOKUP. Think of it as an evolution. Each new tool was created to solve the biggest problem of the last. First, we had VLOOKUP, our first detective, but as we saw, it had a critical flaw. It was blind to anything on its left. It could only ever search in the first column of a table. This was a massive limitation that forced us to constantly rearrange our data just to make the function work. This flaw is what made us learn index and match. This powerful combo was our clever workaround. By separating the finder match from the retriever index, we could look up any value in any column and return a value from any other column left or right. It gave us total flexibility, but it came at a cost complexity. It's two functions nested into one long, complicated formula. It's powerful, but it's not simple or intuitive. This complexity is what made us ready for XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is the final answer. It was designed from the ground up to combine the raw power of index and match with the simple, straightforward style of lookup. Let's look at it conceptually. Imagine we want to find the sales for a product. We type the product in cell H6 and XLOOKUP in cell I6. The logic is beautifully simple. What are you looking for? The value in H6, which is the product B1. And where should you look for it? You should look for it in the list of products in column B. And where is the answer? The answer in the list of sales in column F. It doesn't care about column numbers or positions. It just directly connects a lookup column to a return column. It fixes the VLOOKUP greatest flaw by effortlessly looking to the left or right, and it fixes index and matches greatest flaw by being a single, elegant, easy-to-use function. But look at the table on the right here. We don't want just one value. We want to retrieve everything about product B1. We want to fill in the category, region, month, and sales all at once with VLOOKUP. This was impossible without multiple complex formulas. With index and match, it was complicated, but with XLOOKUP, it's breathtakingly simple. We can write one single formula that does the work of 4. The secret is in the return array. Instead of telling XLOOKUP to return values from just one column, we tell it to return values from multiple columns. Watch this to retrieve all details for product B1. The formula would be equals XLOOKUP. Select the cell which has your product that you want to look for. Then select the list range that contains the list of product. And here is the difference. We will select all other columns at one. Not only one column, do you see the difference? The lookup arrays are the same, find our product B1 in the first column, but the return array is now the entire block of data from category all the way to sales. When we give XLOOKUP a range of multiple columns to return, it doesn't bring back one cell. It brings back an entire row of data. If you press enter, you might see an amazing thing. Excel will automatically fill the cells to the right with the category, region, month, and sales for product B1. Furniture, South, January, 900. With one formula, single action, you've populated an entire row of information. This is the ultimate power and flexibility. XLOOKUP is not just a better VLOOKUP, it is a completely different class of tool. You can use it with the precision of a sniper to retrieve one value, or with the broad power of a shotgun to retrieve an entire range of data. It adapts to your need instantly. This ability to break free from a single column and work with entire ranges is what truly makes XLOOKUP the undisputed champion of lookup functions. It doesn't stop there. XLOOKUP also adds new superpowers. It defaults to an exact match, so you can't accidentally get the wrong answer. You can tell it exactly what to display if a value isn't found, like not available, instead of a confusing error by just write not available immediately after your return array, where the VLOOKUP asks you, what do you want to return if the value you're looking for not found? After that, you choose 0 for the exact match. Also, you can even tell it to search from the bottom up, or from the top of the table to the way down. You can search from the bottom of the table if you want to find the most recent entry. Like our example, we have the A1 product written 2 times in the table. Each one has different region and different sales value. If you want the most recent sale, let VLOOKUP start search from the bottom. This will be done by choosing -1 as search from the bottom. So now it is updated to the row in the bottom instead of the top row. So the journey ends. Here we started with a simple but limited tool VLOOKUP. We advanced to a powerful but complex tool, index and match. We have now arrived at the ultimate tool, simple, powerful and intelligent. In this lesson, we're going to explore some of the most useful text functions in Excel. These are the tools that help you extract parts of text, fix capitalization issues, and combine text from different cells. We'll go step by step 1, left, right, and mid. Let's start with text extraction using left, right, and mid. We have 2 strings, a big word, and powertrain X120. The goal is extract certain letters or numbers step by step, left. The formula is equals open parenthesis text common number of characters, close parenthesis. It always starts from the left side of the string. In our case, to take the first 3 characters of this word type equals left open parenthesis. B6, that's the cell contains the text that we want to extract some characters from it. 3, the number of characters we want to extract from the left, close parenthesis, that will return DOP. The right function does the opposite formula, equals right parenthesis, select the text. Then, number of characters we want to extract, close parenthesis to grab the last 3 characters from this word. That gives you last 3 characters on the right. Allows you to extract characters that exist in the middle. For example, if you want start extracting from the fouth character, write 4. Then mid asks you how many characters you want to extract. If you tell mid 5, then we'll extract 5 characters. Now let's see some other text functions. Upper, lower, and proper. Let's fix messy text capitalization using upper, lower, and proper. We have names. Some letters are written in capital and some are not. But it's not written in the proper way, right? We want to fix the first, upper. This changes everything to capital letters. Formula equals upper, select the text, and that turns all letters into capital. Second, we have lower. This one makes all letters in lowercase. The formula is equals lower, then select the text. That turns all in lowercase. Last one is proper function. This one capitalizes only the first letter of each word. The formula is equals proper, select the text. That makes only the first letter of each word in capital form. Last but not least, we have concat and ampersand operator. Let's learn how to combine text from different cells. Example. We want to combine them into a full name. Let's start with concat function. Equals concat. Select text 1 and text 2. That we merge the 2 texts without a space. So write a space in quotes between the 2 texts and close the bracket. Notice how it added a space between names. Another way is using the ampersand symbol. equal, select the first text, and write ampersand, make a space between quotes to separate between names, and write ampersand again, then select the second name. This will give the same result. Hello everyone and welcome to a crucial lesson in Excel mastering date and time functions. Whether you're tracking project deadlines, calculating ages, or figuring out billing cycles, understanding how Excel handles dates is a superpower. Let's dive right in. Part 1. The date function, building a date from scratch. Look at our first example. We have three numbers scattered in cells, as C4 has the day 4, C5 has the month 9, and C6 has the year 2025. Our job is to assemble these three numbers into a proper, recognizable date. This is where the date function comes to the rescue. It's like a factory that takes raw numbers for year, month, and day and outputs a real date. The syntax is simple, equals date, year, month, day, close parenthesis. So to build our date, we click in an empty cell and type date and select year, then month, then the day, and close parenthesis. We press enter and Excel expertly assembles these parts into the valid date, September 4th, 2025. It's that straightforward. This function is incredibly useful when you receive data where the day, month, and year are in separate columns. Part 2. Finding the difference in time. Now let's move on to a very common task. Calculating the number of days between two dates. Look at our table. We have a start date and an end date. To find the difference in days, Excel makes it simple. It's just basic subtraction. Next to the first set of dates, we write equals J5 minus I5. There are 13 days between September 4th and September 17th, 2025. The beauty is, we can just drag this formula down the column and it'll instantly calculate the difference for the other date pair. Finally, let's unlock two incredibly powerful functions for financial and project planning, eDate and EO_month. First, EO_month, the end of month function. Its job is to calculate the last day of a month, a certain number of months away. This is perfect for calculating deadlines, maturity dates, or rent due dates. The syntax is equal EO_month, parenthesis, start date, months, close parenthesis. Start date is the date you want to start from months. The number of months in the future, positive number or past negative number you want to go. Look at our second table. We have the formula equal EO_month 05, 1. This means find the last day of the month. That is 1 month after the date in 05. The start date is in September, and the EO date is the last day of October. That's right. The syntax is nearly identical, equals eDate start date months. In cell Q5, we write equal eDate, start date as in 05 and 5 months. This means what is the date exactly, 5 months after September 4th, 2025. The result is in February 2026, so it's true. And in next cell, the formula eDate 60 calculates the date 5 years, 60 months into the future from starting date. These functions are indispensable for creating dynamic timelines and forecasts. Your dates will automatically and accurately update. No manual calendar checking required. To recap, your new date superpowers are date for assembling dates from parts, simple subtraction for finding the number of days between dates, EO_month for calculating month ends, eDate for calculating the same date in a future or past month. With these tools, you can automate and manage any task that involves calendars and schedules. Great work, everyone! Imagine you're managing a list of companies and you want to instantly see who your top client is and how much profit they bring in. You don't want to scroll through rows one by one. You want Excel to do the ranking and reporting for you. That's what we'll build right now. Step 1. Ranking clients by revenue. First, let's rank our clients based on revenue. Look at the dataset. Company, revenue, expenses, profit, and gross profit percent. Click in the rank column, equal, rank, open bracket, D5, which is the revenue of the first company. Then the entire list of revenues we're comparing against. And fix the reference, close bracket, and press enter. Excel gives you the rank. Now drag it down to apply the formula for all companies. You now have a leaderboard of companies ranked by revenue. Instead of scrolling, let's build a top clients report on another sheet because we need the raw data without any change, and we need the report with ranking only to be our final output. This report will show rank and company. In the rank column of this report, type 1, 2, 3 for the top positions. Now we'll pull company names with VLOOKUP. In the company column, type equal VLOOKUP B4, which is the rank you typed in the report, then the range of the calculated ranks in the first sheet, and returning company names. Press enter. You'll see the company that matches that rank. Now your report is live. If the dataset changes, your top clients update instantly. And why it matters. With rank and VLOOKUP, you've built a professional client report. You can instantly answer, who is my top client? How much profit are they bringing? This saves time and makes you look confident in meetings. Welcome back everyone. In this lesson, we'll explore how Excel handles rounding numbers. Specifically, we'll look at 3 related functions: round, round up, and round down. Each one is slightly different. By the end of this session, you'll know exactly when to use each one. Here in column B, we have a raw number, 123.49. This is the number we'll be experimenting with. Let's see how Excel can round this in different ways. First, let's try the basic round function. The syntax is equals round, open parenthesis, number, num digits, and close parenthesis. Number is the value we want to round. Num digits tells Excel how many decimal places we want to keep. Write equal round, then select the number, and we don't any digits, so we type 0. So Excel gives us 123 without any digits. Now let's try rounding with 1 decimal place. Type equals round, select the number, and write 1 for 1 digit. This time, Excel gives us 123.5 because it rounds to 1 decimal place. Notice it rounded 0.49 up to 0.5. Sometimes we don't want normal rounding rules, we just want Excel to always round up. That's where roundup comes in. The syntax is the same as round. Here, Excel ignores the usual rules and forces the number up, so 123.49 becomes 124. On the other hand, maybe we always want to round down no matter what the decimal is. For that we use round down syntax. Again, looks the same. Type equals round down and keep num digits as 0. Now it forces the number down. 123.9 becomes 123, even though it was closer to 124. So let's recap quickly. Round follows the normal math rules. It rounds 0.5 and above up, and anything below 0.5 down. Round up always goes up, no matter what.